This is not just for Indians, for any immigrants who are trying to move to an English speaking countries like America, UK, or even Australia. So there may be many intimidating factors when we are making a move to an English speaking country, but the language, English, is one among them, especially if you are not a native speaker of English or most of your formal education was in your mother tongue. I am the best example. Most of my formal education for a predominant time was in my mother tongue, Telugu. And also, very important here, this is not any spoken English course channel. I am an immigrant who settled in America and I share my immigrant stories and experiences in this channel. Let's jump into the topic. Whenever it comes to English and Indians or any non-native speakers and English, most of the stand-up comedians pick up our accent, and definitely they do great job and it creates a lot of laughs, and even I enjoy it too. But I'm not talking about accent. But even before you work on your accent, there are some other things which we have to focus. I work as an emergency radiologist, and whenever I see something wrong with the patient's scan, immediately I have to make a call to the clinical room of the emergency room and update the findings on over the phone. So one day I was looking at a patient. This is like exactly 12 years ago. So I called the emergency room and I asked for the patient Teng. They said we don't have such patient, and they hung up on me. I called again, patient Teng. They hung up on me again. So I called them for the third time, and this time I did not use the name of the patient. I gave them the ID number and I asked. Then they said, "Oh, you mean patient Yang? Yeah, he's here. What's going on?" So then I discussed the findings. So what do you learn from this? So it is not the accent which caused any confusion here. It is the pronunciation. So this is a real story, and since then I learned one important lesson, that is the pronunciation is more important in this communication. So the first thing, when we are making a move to English speaking countries, we all do our basic homework, especially when we are coming here as a student or we are in academic line. In 2007 and 2009, we did not have these many resources. I used to live in Tanzania. I used to have a TV in my room, and just the Sky or BBC network. I used to switch it on and turn my head and listen to the conversations and try to follow them. Nowadays, there are so many online resources or individual coachings for all these English speaking. But whatever way you are following, whenever you are getting your ducks in a row, the first priority, the first duck should be the pronunciation. So when I was self-training myself by listening to the television, most of my focus was on accent. Of course, I did not get the accent anyway. That caused more stress to my training. So if anyone is struggling in your journey, your focus should be mostly on pronunciation and learning the phonetics, how you spell the English syllables and sounds. So that will be giving you more clarity and it will lead to more confidence, and that's where you should start your journey. I speak a lot into the PowerScribe to make my dictations, and even when working with a PowerScribe, even when you're working with a machine, it takes your pronunciations. It will have different accents. It will ignore your accent, but it is the pronunciation which makes your PowerScribe dictations so easy. And moving on to the second issue of the topic, construction of sentences and trying to speak relatively fluently in English. So when you are not a native speaker of English, or when most of your formal education is in your mother tongue, whenever we want to try to address a topic or write a topic, we will be thinking in our own mother tongue and not in English. So that is one thing which I realized over the time. So once I realized this factor, I started making conversations with myself in English and took every opportunity to implement it. For example, when I was in Tanzania, some of the patients used to be from American Embassy. So I used to go and talk to them about multiple issues of life also, including the patient stuff. So that helps you to build your confidence. We can also practice this by talking to colleagues. And once I moved to US, another thing which I practiced is talking to kids in predominantly in English. Some of the parents in US, Indian parents, may not agree with this, but everybody has their own way of doing things.